Yesterday, sorry, we have talked about the archiving. What's the archiving is basically move the actual data, online data, to offline storage. So whenever you require, you can access it, right? So if you talk about the enterprise vault, it can archive Exchange, it can archive your file system, it can archive SharePoint. Okay, in the file server, it archives not only Windows Server, it can archive even EMC, VNX, EMC Centera, or whatever the EMC storage is. There are lot of big list is available, and even it can archive NetApp storage also. Okay, so after that one, we have covered how to set up the enterprise vault server. Installation is standard. You have to run the setup, next, finish. But there are, for the enterprise vault, there is couple of prerequisites. On the Windows side, like you have to install the .NET framework, you have to install the message queue. Couple of requirement is there. But Symantec has given the deployment scanner for enterprise vault. If you run the deployment scanner, it will tell you like which component is missing. So you can install it. Okay, so yesterday we saw how we can run the deployment scanner. And then once you install the enterprise vault server, then we have to run initial setup wizard. Okay, during the initial setup wizard, what we are doing, we are installing the EV site. This is our, if you are installing the first time, this will, you have to give the EV site name and those things. Okay, if EV site is exist and you are going to add the additional EV server for high availability and those things, you have to give the name of that existing site and proceed further accordingly. So yesterday what we have done, we have set up enterprise vault site. Okay, and but during the setup, you can see on the screen, we have created two databases. One is your directory database, one is the monitoring database. What the directory database is doing basically, directory database is a database which contain all the configuration of the EV server, EV services, everything. Where the EV locations, storage location, what is the configuration you have set, what are the parameters you have defined in the EV, everything goes in the directory database. The second thing is the monitoring database we have configured yesterday. Monitoring database is the database where all the alerts and audits logs are going. These two databases yesterday created after once we have run this wizard. Okay, so now we will continue. Yesterday, now we have to install the EV license to run the product. Okay, so I think a license file is already copied in the D drive.
D drive is a physical piece on the PC?
Yeah, on the physical PC. P small. Yes. You got it? Sorry? I didn't you. Self file. We found it? Even I didn't find it. No. Web is not accessible from here?
No, because you are connected to this Wi-Fi. You can connect to other network, but you will be disconnected from the projector.
But still, how to do this?
Connect to FTC. You can use this one again.
Okay, 1 minute. I think I have in my laptop. So to install the enterprise vault license, we just have to copy the SL file on the installation root directory and restart the services. Okay. Just 1 minute. Okay.
There is no GUI option. It's just copy.
There is no GUI option, and the one more thing, important thing, we cannot. It's a soft limit. So if user has a 20 licenses, he can use even 100. There is no limit. So you don't tell to the end user, you know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and sometimes we got a call like user is saying that they need to install the additional EV license.
Yeah.
In case, for example, if there is a additional new feature, then we have to copy the license file.
Both?
Sorry?
Both should be on the same folder, or
it should be on it's automatically moved when you restart the service. SL file is moved in the installed license folder.
Yeah.
By default, we need to install on the root directory. And the second thing, for example, the user has mailbox licenses, and tomorrow he bought it basically file system archiving license. So in this case, anybody has USB? USB? Anybody?
Where is my USB?
Prasad, where is USB? Where is USB? Okay, what I was saying is, for example, today, if the customer has a mail archiving license, okay, tomorrow he bought file system archiving. Okay, so you want to install this license, then you have to copy the file. If he increase the user license, no need. Only registered the license on the portal, Symantec portal, that's it. Okay. Yeah, man. Yes.
And what about renewal?
Renewal, just install the license over there. That's it.
When you say on the folder that you said, or on the Symantec folder,
so you don't need to sign on that.
Sorry?
Windows on the local locations, the location that you said, you have to paste it there, or on the Symantec folder only?
No. Just to renewal is just only a maintenance contract, right? So you can just only register on the portal, Symantec portal. No need to do anything. And the second thing, you cannot count the used license.
Okay, I was going to ask.
You cannot count the used license.
Some customers.
Yes,
ask,
they do. They do.
They ask.
So
many customers.
there is.
I want to know how many licenses left, because you cannot tell him it is open. You can.
Yeah, that's right.
So you will get this question.
So what in that case, what will be the answer?
Okay. You have to run.
What will be the answer in that?
Sorry? You have to count manually. You have to basically, what's the licensing is? Basically, it's a compliance. The company, if they want like very strict with the compliance and those things, they will always know like how many license they are utilizing. Okay, most of those guys only will ask you. So the only way you have for the enterprise vault, especially in the case of mail archiving, only active mailbox archive accounts are counted, not the deleted one.
Have to copy both the files.
Both files you can copy. Remove it after it belongs to some customers.
Okay, I'll remove it.
Where is the files?
Okay, what you have to do is basically copy the file from this USB. I have given 2 SLF files are there. Okay, copy it in your C program files x86 folder. Okay, inside enterprise vault, copy it. Copy on the root folder.
Reason for me.
So you already okay, installed it.
License.
Where is mine?
It has inside that.
On this drive.
It's installed on D drive.
Yeah.
Bro.
Where?
Okay.
Then in the root folder.
Root folder. You might not have permission. Okay. Okay. See now, we have copied the file. Just what you have to do is restart the services. Go to services.
Bro, where is the file? D drive, program file, x86.
Yes.
Enterprise Vault, install license.
No. Enterprise Vault only.
Which service we need to start?
Admin service.
Can you please explain the services and what?
I will come to that point. Let's start the services first. Then only.
Before restarting.
If you restart the admin service, it will restart all.
So once the
Sorry?
license, can we check before we update the license? What is the status of the license?
Yeah. It's when once you open the console, it will give you like base license is not installed. Before copy or restart the service, and even it logs the error in the system event viewer. You can see if you go through all the logs, it will show you that required license is not installed. Okay, let's discuss all the services.
अभी enterprise console open we open, okay, but it is asking the directory services computer.
Localhost you can type.
Okay.
Man, we didn't reach that point.
Why you're
No, just sorry.
no.
So why are you jumping ahead? Mushkil.
Okay. Before going further, let's discuss all the services.
Have you copied that license file or not? Because I skipped that stuff.
Yeah.
Can you show me that part where you copied it?
Where you install the enterprise vault in the root directory of that folder. Either on the C drive or D drive. C program or D program files x86 inside enterprise vault.
Is there any particular folder or just inside?
Inside enterprise vault. Okay. Okay, see now. First of all, the main service for the enterprise vault is enterprise vault admin service. All the other services are dependent on the admin service. So by default, if you run the enterprise vault admin service, it will check the license. Mohammed, admin service will check the license. Huh? Okay. Whenever you start the admin service, you can see the notification in the event log that license has been checked and whatever the features are there. You can see the see from the system logs. You can check always. It will be there in the system logs, application logs. Under enterprise vault is separate. There is enterprise vault. I'll show you that one. So what it will do is basically it will check the license. and all the feature, whatever the features are available in the license, it will do that. And the second thing, in case of file system archiving, the file system agent is also included in this one. In case of non-Windows file system archiving. But if you talk about the exchange part, it will check only the license and those things, nothing else. Okay, if you see here in the logs, okay, I'll show you that. See, this is before I install the license. See, the warning is there. So somewhere,
and the error as well.
so before the admin service start, it will verify the license is there. See this is after once I restart the service. The warning I showed you before installing the license. So here we can identify that license is installed on the EV or no. Okay, the second service is directory service. Directory service is basically all your EV direct like access all the directory features, whatever the configuration and those things is covered under the directory service. Okay, this has to be running on one server. Like in case of, for example, you have 2 EV servers. The directory service will be hosted on the first EV server. Always, whatever you will configure the first EV server, the master server is that one. All the pointers from the client will be pointing to that server only. So in case of troubleshooting, this is very important. In our scenario, that is the EV alias, EV server. It's not pointing to the physical host name. Always it points to the alias of that server. Yesterday we have defined the alias. So all the client access is through the alias only. Okay. So directory server will be the first one. The second directory service is running, but it's connecting to that server. If you have 5 EV servers, for example, the first server what you have configured is holding the actual directory services. All the other directory services are connecting to that server. Got it? It's kind of like in the Active Directory you have a FSMO roles holding on one server. All the other servers are pointing to that one.
Okay, so we can find the directory server from the alias.
We cannot. You have to keep a remember on that one.
No,
there is a complex script to find which is the directory server.
We are going to upgrade or migrate.
Yeah, in case of migration and update, you have to know which is the directory server.
Okay.
Because after the upgrade, you have to run the services first on the directory server, then proceed with the rest. So this is the key point. You have to remember. The second is indexing. Indexing service is basically it's all the search, whatever search performed on the EV server, archive on the archives. This service is handling that one. Indexing is for the search. It's cleared from the name, I think. Okay, the second thing is shopping. You know, if you go on the website, there is a shopping cart option is there. So you can, if you want to buy the 4 items from one website, you will select all the 4 items, add it to cart. While checking out, you will say like, I want to buy these 4, right? Checkout. Before checkout, you can even merge maybe 10-15 items at one time. The same feature it is shopping. Here, you can select the 10-15 emails before restore. Okay, got it? This is the temp area basically. You can select the 10 archives in one bucket and then restore it at one time instead of restoring one by one.
Like a cache.
Like not cache, it's like a cart, you can say, shopping cart kind of thing. You can select 10, 15, 20, 50 items one time and then restore it. Okay, then the storage service. Storage service is basically it's handling all the internal storage locations of the EV. Okay, there is nothing else. Okay, then the task controller service. Task controller service is all the tasks running under the EV. Archiving task, shortcut processing task. What are those tasks? We will discuss it. But all the archiving task under the schedule running under this task controller service. Clear? All these are the services. Let's open the console. Open the administration console. Here you have to define, directory service, what now? Directory service is containing like all the configuration of your EV infrastructure. How the EV infrastructure and EV is implemented. Like it has either 4 server, 5 server, all those are connecting with that EV server. First one, that is the master server.
It's the total configurations.
Configuration, like for example, when the client connect to the server, it's look for that in front of that EV server. Okay, so EV server, admin service is just taking control of all these rest of the service. But EV as a service is basically a directory service. Okay, so whenever client connect, it requests to that directory service or web part of that one.
Okay, let's say client is connect and server wants to do something. So these services provide the information about everything.
No, client is just connecting to that one server. For example, you have 2 servers. One EV as a role is installed on both servers. But some of the directory features, some of the EV infrastructure feature is installed is on first one. The rest is pointing to that only. That's it.
So what we have to provide the name?
Either you can define the alias or you can put the local host if you are on the local machine.
What was the alias?
EV server or the local host you can define. Yes, 6 services. Yes.
I think we faced some issues with the license. I think I did not copy that. You can check.
Okay. You have copied it? Yeah. We start first. See. Here only. Okay, copy it.
Okay, so we've got some good news.
We have something to read.
Yes. So the snacks being arranged.
Will be having every day?
Yes. Whenever there is a training.
Okay, we start with this last one.
Yeah, the first training we will have. See, we are improving every day, right?
At least we have something to read.
So last time we raised this request, we told them that people are hungry, they're tired by the end of the day. So let's give them something to eat.
Okay, now are you guys reach on this console?
Yeah.
The other one.
You just have to go a little slow because this system I hung up. So
okay. This is the first console you can, once you open the admin console, maybe this will be, you need to expand it little bit.
a few minutes.
You got it, Mohammed?
Yeah.
Yes, what's up? It's up now?
Before it was it's up, but second time we are opening, you can give the license.
Till now, we didn't define mail server, we didn't define
There is nothing.
domain controller, we didn't define it.
No, we didn't define anything. We are working only on EV till now. We have not defined any archiving target. So we will discuss this thing now. License is not working for you? Working? Yes. Okay, we'll continue now.
I'm just restarting the server.
Okay, restart it. Leave it. Restart the admin service. It will restart automatically. Rest of it.
From there we can see the license.
You cannot see. You have to go through all the system logs under the enterprise vault.
It is showing the following licenses are there and there are
Indexing services stop for you.
Yes, it will stop. Leave that one. Okay, we'll continue now.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this will be your site, EV site. You can see it. Yesterday, whatever the name you have given in the during the setup, it will come under this point, EV site or whatever you have given.
Can I have multiple sites?
No, you can have multiple sites. You can have.
Based on what or why?
Based on
why we can have multiple sites?
multiple sites based on the geographic difference, you can say. But it's kind of it's not required that much, you know. But in the case of very big scenario, you can have possibly one site is here, one site in Saudi or somewhere. Okay. I think you are not getting. Okay. So this is your EV site. The next thing you can see under the very first thing you can see under the site is targets here. Target is what you are going to be archived. Either it is a file server, either it is a domino, either it is exchange. It will come under the targets. You can see it. Targets are which kinds? Exchange, domino, file server, and SharePoint. These things you can archive from EV based on the license you purchase.
okay, these are the other options. It will be show like this, or we have a license, that's why it is showing those options.
It will show.
It will show all the domino and the file server.
Even if you don't have license, you can see that. Okay. Then the next thing is policies. The next option is policies. Policies is what you are going to be archived, how you are going to archive, how you put the permission for the end users and those things.
according to our target, we can make policies, right?
Yeah, based on the target, we can create the policies. Again, policies also has the different components like policies for exchange, policies for dominoes, policies for file. Same. We have 4 targets. We have 4 policies here under. Yes.
We have a exchange. Means we are planning to exchange that, right?
Yes, right.
At the same time, we need a file server. Both the things we can do from one console.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can add the both the licenses.
Right. We can. No issue. We can add even SharePoint at the same time. No issues. There is no limitation. But we have to scale the server as per that one requirement. Okay. Then under that one, you can see the enterprise vault servers. Right now, in our environment, only one server is there. You can have multiple servers also. Right now, it's only one EV server. Clear? Under the EV service, you can find the services and the task. Services is basically all the services what we have discussed just right now. Shopping, task controller, indexing, storage. Just right now we have discussed. Okay. And then the task, right now there will be no task. But task is what? What is you are going to be archived. We have not defined yet anything. We will define going to be do. Okay, under that one, the archive option, what is going, you are archiving is. Okay. Okay, the first thing, yesterday, now you can see that your index service is not running, right?
Yeah.
So why it is not running? Basically, we have not set the index locations.
Yes, because
Yesterday we just finished it.
finished the wizard without locations.
Okay, so you can add the location, open the index service. From here, Enterprise Vault Server Services and Enterprise Vault Index Service. Go to the index locations.
But there is location already there.
Okay, and then add the location.
What is it?
Here it will ask you for your EV admin's account. Type it, password, type the password.
What is the index metadata locations? I can see the one location is there.
Let it be on the C drive. We are not touching the metadata location. It's default. It's coming in under the Windows. Wherever you want. Okay. The second thing, if you click on any folder, either on D or E drive, wherever you want to put the index, create one folder, name it, and add it. It will automatically create 8 additional folders. Okay.
We have to pick that option also.
No, nothing. Just once you add any folder, one folder, it will create automatically 8 folder internally. Index from 1 to 8. Okay, this is basically it will create additional 8 indexes inside that volume basically.
But why 8 indexes?
There is no why basically.
No,
but it's created. No, but the thing is no, it's not required. But the thing is, we can change it to one folder also.
Okay.
But what it's doing is basically it's putting all the different archive in different folders and something for the manageability.
But it has its own structure.
By default, it's recommended by Symantec. It's opening the 8 partition, 8 folders under the
And
index.
we can add more indexes if we want.
once if you are running out of space on that disk, you can close this one and open a new one. Okay, we have added the index now. The next thing.
Start the circle.
So just like click on apply and okay, that's it.
Yes, right.
Nothing on the backup mode or anything?
No, we will discuss the backup later.
There's someone out there.
Backup mode we will discuss later. Okay, yes. Tell me.
Do we start the service?
Sorry? Yeah, you can. Okay, let's start the service.
Before starting the service, we have to just do this location.
Location should be there. So this is the first troubleshooting you can say. If there is index location closed, even mine is not started even after that one.
Asking for server cache is not popular.
Okay. The second thing, we didn't configure the server cache also.
Okay.
Where it is on the EV server properties. EV server properties. Right click on the EV server properties. You have to give the cache location. Okay, you can put it anywhere on the D or E drive. I'll put it on E. And apply it.
What about the size?
Size you can give 1020 GB.
GB?
Yes.
No, what's recommended?
Okay, cache should be at least 30 GB by default. In our environment, what we are deploying for the enterprises, what we are doing is basically.
What's it say?
Yeah, I'll come to that point. 1 minute. Okay, see. If you talk about the EV data, the most important thing is your email archive. That is the actual data, right? Index is what? Index is the search metadata.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
This is not the actual data, but it is a metadata to perform the search on your data, what you have saved in the EV. Correct? So, index is not your actual data, but we are saving like for the backups also and those things. Why? Because to perform a metadata search on your data, it's a very resource intensive. Right? If you lose the index data, what it will happen? You cannot perform the search on your archive. Correct? Your data is still there. You can recover it. You can rebuild the search. Right? But why it is important to keep always your index with you? In case of disaster or something, you will bring the server online very quickly. You don't have to rebuild all your indexes. Correct? Then the server cache. Server cache is the temp location for the server. If you talk about the email archiving, what it will do is, it will fetch the archive from the exchange through the MAPI connection. Okay. It will convert that email in the text format. Remember, EV is converting the email in the text format.
Only .txt format.
Not txt. It's on. DVS file is creating. But that is searchable text. Okay. Now, after the conversion, it will index that data. Index will go in the index location. Okay. And the data will go in the wherever we are saving the archive. So, if you see now, there is a 2-3 steps involved in even single archive email, right? To get the file, then process it, to convert it into something else, then the index it. That server cache is the location where all this processing is going on. You got your answer?
Yes.
So, one is the index location.
Usually how much you keep it?
We normally usually keep it 30 to 50 gig. Okay, then the second location is your MSMQ locations. Okay, the message queue. Message for the email archiving, message queue is the most important factor. Okay, message queue location by default is come in the Windows directory. We usually keep in separate drive and giving around 50 gig for that one also. Okay, let's start the index service now.
Okay, so the cache is, I have selected 20 GB.
You can give, we are keeping on the separate drive also to make it fast.
How do you change this queue?
Okay, I'll come to that point. Okay, now you got 2 points also here. If the index locations are not configured and the server cache is not configured, the index service is not starting. Remember, anything like if the server cache, maybe user delete the folder or something. I saw one incident, user deleted the folder. So remember this thing. Okay, now we have configured the index location. The next thing we can see here is wall store groups. Till now we are setting up only the EV server. I am not touching any exchange, any other part. We are talking about the EV.
So this indexing everything is general
for everything. Okay. Now the next part is wall store groups.
So it's where it will save the data.
Where it will save the data. Wall store, where the EV is saving the data. Yes.
You have mentioned yesterday that it's got its own storage space, right?
Storage space we are going to define now. It's a basically local disk attached to the server, or either the SAN or NAS, anything. Wall store is what? Wall store where the data is saved basically. Okay. Now we have wall store group. Actually there are two terms now. Okay. There is wall store, there is wall store group. Wall store group can contain the multiple wall stores. Group is the combination of wall stores. Okay, if you right click and create new wall store group. Right click on the wall store. This is the first time setup. If you troubleshooting, you will never create it again. It's a one-time setup. We never do it again. We never even required it again. In case of very special like scenario, like maybe new site is coming up or something.
Okay, now we created, after that we deleted the also. Again we can create the same thing, same place, without any.
You can create it, but why to delete it?
No, I'm asking, now see, deduplication function we are creating, okay?
No, deduplication, then the data will also go.
No, I'm telling
Archive is very critical,
No.
you cannot delete it.
deduplication we are creating, okay, we delete it.
Okay.
Then we are creating, we cannot create because until we are deleting that file.
The deduplication folder is totally different.
Yeah.
Deduplication is totally different for the backup exec or whatever. That wall store is what? Your actual archive data. If you delete it, your data will go. You will lose everything. So you cannot revert it. Or one more thing, very important. Any user, if any archive deleted, cannot be restored back.
Any archive deleted.
Any email archive or the archive file from the EV, if you give the permission to the user to allow to delete the archive, if they delete, you cannot recover.
You mean to say single file or the entire?
No, single file.
Single file.
Single file or the folder, whatever. Okay, you can recover the EV state from the backup, but you have to have the full infrastructure, but you have backed up. You have to restore the full EV state back.
So that individual archive file cannot be restored.
Individual file cannot be restored. The backup we are taking.
Project.
Sorry.
So in that case, it will become a project. Restoring the
restore. We have to restore. We have to restore. This means that we have to return the EV back to that state, full EV.
Oops.
So in this case, the next email will be missed. So by default, we don't allow user to delete the archive, but some places they have it. So, but remember this thing: if the user deletes the archive,
You mean the user deletes it from his plugin,
he delete from right click, delete it
from the plugin?
from the plugin, delete it. So cannot be recovered. There is no way we can recover it. No. This is not the question of GRT basically.
But you know why we cannot restore? Because even we are taking
What you mean by why?
we are taking a backup of indexing and everything. Then
We have the backup. You can restore it.
Actually.
Backup is for DR purposes. Disaster recovery. If everything goes down, you can recover it back the EV state. But you cannot get it back one particular email. Okay.
Because it is taking a backup of the different files. That's why.
Anytime it's a different scenario. Okay. Let's create the first wall store group.
We can restrict on the email that this particular data is not supposed to be deleted.
We can restrict. We can do that.
The user will get the.
By default, EV is not allowing user to delete it. Default setting is not restricted. But in some cases, user administrator are giving access to the. Let them play with their own archive. So in this case, remember. Okay. Here you have to give the wall store name. Let's give whatever you want. This is group basically we are creating. Okay, here you have to define again same SQL server name. Then you have to give the database location. Yesterday we have created, so I am not discussing anything here.
Now, you can create a new database or you just...
It's creating a new database. It's creating a new database.
For the group.
For the wall store group. So this means this is our third database for the EV. Yesterday we have created two. One is for directory, one is for monitoring. This is the third database. The wall store group also has the one database. Okay. Once you click next, see now it's creating the wall store group and the fingerprint database. Fingerprint database is what? This is for the single instance. Whenever email comes into the EV is creating a hash for that email. That hash is saved in this single fingerprint database. So next time the same email will come, it won't save. That's why we are reducing space, storage space. We are saving the space because of this fingerprint database. And then remember one thing, I saw a lot of customer who have like for example Enterprise Vault 8 or something. If they migrated from 8 to 9 or something, I saw some places that they didn't configure the fingerprint database. So what's the disadvantage for that one? They are not saving the space. There is no single instance over there. So before 8, there was no fingerprint database. So there was no single instance at that time. Only the compression and those things was there. Single instance came when the Enterprise Vault 8 was released. So I saw a couple of customers also, they upgraded to version 9 and they don't have fingerprint database. So if we don't have fingerprint database, what will be the disadvantage? You are not saving on the space. There is no single instance. EV, whenever it's archiving the email, it will create a hash for that email. That hash is saved in this fingerprint database.
Basically working as a deduplication.
Kind of thing. Okay, now we have created the new vault store.
Sir, one more thing. In the same scenario, if those client customers which don't have a fingerprint, so if we are upgrading and we are creating this,
It's better as per the professional approach. We have to recommend them to create a fingerprint database.
so
But old one we cannot do anything. For the new we can do.
so it will start from that day.
From
onward.
that day only.
It will not.
No.
take the old one.
The old one not be, because there is no mechanism to scan the old emails. The new whatever coming in, we can do that. Okay. So now we have created the group. Now the next wizard, it will ask you to create the new vault store. You can give any name. The wizard is same. It will ask you for the database location, database log location.
So we create another database.
Yes. This is for the vault store.
How many databases?
This is the fourth one. Fifth one, sorry, fifth one. There is fingerprint also created. This is the fifth one.
So the database and the fingerprint database are two different.
Yeah, vault store database, the vault store group database.
Is it okay to have all the databases in one folder?
Yeah, we are used to creating in one folder only.
But
Yes. Okay. It's only the metadata and those things only. It's not that much huge if you think. It's 50 gig. For some customer I saw they are using enterprise vault from the last 6 years or 7 years. The database is still under 100 gig. All the databases. So it's not that much big. It's increasing, but not that much big.
including the transport.
No, transaction logs will be cleared after the backup. So we are not calculating that one. Database size is matter. Transaction logs always saved on the separate disk. So they have to take care of that one. Okay, now the next thing.
One question. Just now the path that you have entered, it is for the world store, not for the world group, right?
Yeah, for the
The
vault.
first
Obviously.
is for world
Vault group, vault store group.
Under that, there will be world store.
Vault store group is the top level, then the vault stores. Okay, next thing is in the vault store, the most important part here, safety copy. What is the safety copy? The safety copy is basically when you are archiving anything, either it is your file system or either it is mail. Prasad, safety copy is what? This is a very common issue you will face in day-to-day troubleshooting. User are saying like they archived the mail and didn't get the space. Didn't get the space on the exchange. Very common. ATC has the same issue. He was saying that on the EV they archived 200 gig, but on the exchange they didn't get 10 GB. What the safety copy is basically, it will archive the email or the file, okay, but it will keep, EV will keep that item in the pending state. Item is archived, but the original item is not deleted. Safety copies means what? Item is archived, but the original item is not deleted. When it will be deleted, once you done the enterprise vault backup, the original item will be deleted. This is called the safety copy. EV backup. EV backup.
Not exchange.
Not exchange. Got it? So we have now here three options. Never means only copy the file. No use. Okay, we never use this option. Never means never. Okay, the next option is after backup. After backup, once you've done the EV backup, the original item, whatever is archived, will be deleted from the source, like from the target, sorry. Like either is an exchange or the file server. Got it? Then the after backup immediately for the journaling. Journaling is what? Exchange journaling is what? Anybody knows?
Just having a copy of each, all the events on our one.
Right, correct. Journaling means what? Basically having a copy of your emails in one, like you will have always two copies of the email. One is for the sender or receiver, one is for your compliance or the legal purposes. Right? So, for the journal, if it is a big organization, journal mailbox is growing very, very big. Like on the, we saw in the agility, they are getting emails daily, maybe 25 gig. 25 gig of email they are getting every day. Imagine. No, it's a worldwide. So they have 25 gig. Even they cannot survive if the EV is stopped for one day. Their exchange is getting crashed because of the storage. 25 GB of emails are coming in daily. Imagine. So for the journaling, we are putting an exception here, for example. If you select the after backup immediately for journaling email will be archived immediately and deleted from the journal mailbox. But for the user archive, user mailbox will be deleted after backup. This is the only difference. So there will be no safety copy for journaling, but there is a safety copy for the end user mailbox. The third option is immediately after archive. So once you archive the mail, it will be removed from the target and will be saved on the EV. Got it?
So basically, we used to apply the thing only, right? The immediately after archive. So once it is archived, then we.
Sorry? We normally used to.
Immediately after archive.
Yeah. In the lab.
Second option is this.
Sorry?
Backup immediate for journaling. Journaling, you don't need to wait for a backup.
Right. But it's based on. Right, but it's based on the user. We normally used to discuss these options with our customer. What they wanted basically. Either they want to archive immediately or after the backup. Based on the user feedback, we are doing the changes.
And this backup is the enterprise vault itself. Right?
Enterprise vault itself backup. Once you next, it will create the vault store.
What do you mean it's backup?
Enterprise vault backup.
Backup. So
Yeah.
Backup was backup exec.
Backup exec. Even you can do the Windows NT backup also.
Okay, you meant to say we have another software for backup. I was thinking
EV don't have any backup mechanism.
I was thinking
Yeah, that's why I asked you because I know it's confused. It's
Okay.
in the front.
Okay. Okay, see, these two things we have created in Vault Store and Vault Store group. It's not saving any data. This is only the administration part.
Yeah.
You got it? If you see the wizard, we didn't specify any storage location. Till now, we didn't define any storage location. Vault Store and Vault Store group is only the administration part.
We only define the database.
Only define the database. Okay, now the next part. This is the location where we are going to save the data. Partition. This is the one-time setup. You are doing it one time. Later on, maybe for the customer, till you are not going to implement. So you are only troubleshooting on this one or creating the new partition. This is the daily thing.
And plugin issues.
Some other thing also. Okay. This is the partition. Partition is what? Where your actual data will be saved. Archived data will be saved. Got it? Now I'll summarize. Okay, let's finish this one, then we will summarize. Okay. This is the first partition we are going to create where our email or archive will go. Okay. This is the partition name, and then we have three options for the archive partition: open, close, ready.
Partition.
Yeah, partition is the actual location where your data will be saved. Logical partition for that location
On the disk.
on the disk.
So on the disk will automatically create a partition.
We will going to create now.
Yeah. We create.
Not it's a folder basically.
It's a folder.
Actually, it's a folder. For the EV, it's a partition. It's a location where your data will be saved. Okay. Now, partition has the three attributes. It can be open, it can be closed, it can be ready. Open means what? The actual data is coming in. There is no stop, like anything what you are going to be archived, it will go in the open partition. Muhammad, this is a very common issue you will face, or Nishan, like user is saying that archive is not going on. The first thing you need to check, the partition is open or no. We saw with a couple of customers the partition is closed.
Now, if the partition is closed, then
New archive will not happen.
New archive will not happen. Now, this problem will face immediately after implementation itself, right?
No. I tell you one thing. That's the point. The next point I am going to discuss. Let's keep it for 5 minutes. Okay. Because we are going to discuss that point. Why the partition is closed.
Okay.
So, new partition, open, closed, and ready. Open means new data can be write on this location. Closed means new data will not be written on this one. You cannot write a new data in the
Like suppose your disk is full, you will do it in a close and
Create a new partition.
new partition.
And then it will become open. So if you create a new partition, you keep
That
it
new
open,
open
this
will be
closed,
open.
and this one will be closed.
This will be closed.
Okay.
There
Open
will be
and
a
closed is understood.
there is a couple of scenarios now. Why to close a partition? For example, archiving system is like a very the storage. It's very like, for example, for one company I saw, Enterprise Vault storage is they are using up to 4 TB. For the NPK, when I am doing the migration, they have the data of around 4.7 TB. You cannot keep 4.7 TB on one disk.
Yeah.
Right? Right or wrong?
Right, yeah, makes sense.
We cannot make 4.7 TB of one array and keep it over everything there. Maybe at that time when they implement Enterprise Vault, at that time they started with the 600 GB of the storage. Now they growed up to 4.7 TB. How to manage these things? With the help of partition. If you are running out of disk on any of the drive, where the partition is there. We can close the partition, open the new partition on the new disk, newly assigned disk, either C or D, whatever.
So
This is the one purpose. Okay.
it is basically controlling the NAS box. I mean,
Not NAS, it's a one folder only. I'll show you that one.
So
Logical,
we
it's
have group. Both store group.
I'll show you that.
Store. Then on the store we can have multiple.
In the store we have partition. I'll come to that point. Let's create the partition. Okay. You know, open, close, and the ready is you create a new you have assigned the new disk and create a partition over there, make it ready. And put a pointer if the disk is getting full to 95% or 96%, close the partition and use the ready one.
Okay.
So ready is to keep the place ready, like the partition is ready, administration work is done. In case of partition closed, the ready will be converted to the open.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can predefine the
rule.
Percentage of storage.
Right.
So let's say it reaches 90%, 95%, whatever is predefined. This
It will be rollover. It will be rollover to the next.
Okay.
We will discuss this one after once we finish it. Basically, let's create the new. So here, if you see here, storage time.
Now I understood. So because it's creating a partition, that means it has to have some kind of a
Storage
file system.
Yes, right. Okay, now it's a storage part where the data will go. By default, now we have a Windows. It's an NTFS volume, but you can have the network share, the CIF drive // You can use any NAS box or something. You can have the NetApp storage. You can have the Symantec file store. Javed, you are saying Symantec file store.
Yeah.
So here you are defining the partition for that one. Okay. You can have EMC center. Sorry.
Is it limited to this?
Yeah, it's limited.
Or is it like the complete list, or
No, this is
could
the
there be a
complete.
possibility that there could be some other type?
No, this is the complete list.
The complete list.
No, actually, this list, like if you are looking on the list, for example, if you are storing on the EMC center, the storage is totally different. So for the CIF, if you have a storage where the CIF location is accessible, that is the common thing. Okay.
Why they are segregating everything like, vendor wise?
Yes, for example, let's say EMC Centera. There is option EMC Centera here. You cannot access the EMC Centera directly. It's a content-based storage. You can send the data to EMC. Okay, it will save the data and return you the address of that data. The mechanism is different. You got it? Basically, every storage has its own access mechanism. So possibly, I never work in Symantec file store, but maybe it's working something differently internally. So they have fine-tuned and creating the partition based on that storage type.
Actually,
What if we don't know?
Symantec file.
We have to know before doing this. Because in case of, for example, if you select the NTFS and in front storage is Centera, we never create, we are unable to create the partition. The 99 customers are using the local storage. Very few, they are using either CIF storage or the EMC Centera nowadays.
See, guys, archiving means that you're saving your space of storage by using
Some low level.
low-level storage.
Right, correct.
So usually it will be saved on NTFS volume, whatever, if it is on a NAS or locally attached.
Right, correct.
So if there could be chances if we don't have any storage listed here.
No, there is no. It's never
Volume
happened.
will be there.
At least you have a local storage of the
Local
server.
storage.
Yeah, we can use the NTFS and the network share.
Yes.
Yeah,
Network share, any NAS device can be used as a network share.
File store, it is coming with EV built-in.
I'm not really aware of that one.
So, the next question.
No, then EV, then there is no built-in EV. So because the EV is not working on Linux, it depends. Might be file system save.
I don't know exactly. But
No, because the EV deployment will be separate. Your data store, this partition is saved on the file store.
it is like an appliance. You find it on the array. There is some appliance. It is very different.
There is no virtual machine. There is no virtual EV server separately.
No.
There will
What
be.
I saw it.
I'm not really aware of that one. Possibly.
Because EV
File store we never worked on.
Yes.
Okay. Here you have to define where you want to save. It's an NTFS
You
violent
want to create a partition.
partition. If I'm creating on the E drive, okay, this part is only for the NetApp storage. Device performing data deduplication, device perform data compression. This is NetApp storage. This part is only for the NetApp.
It's mentioned for the
NTFS, but it only works with the NetApp. Then you have to click the test run connectivity and click next. Partition rollover.
We are not getting that.
We are not getting that option.
Which one?
Net storage.
See, NTFS only.
Click here on that NetApp volume.
Yeah, it's like
It's already there.
Next. Okay, I see that.
E drive next.
Okay.
Next. Test. Run test.
because they did not get that option NTFS volume storage, that checkboxes you said.
That you told her, not
For NetApp.
No, check.
So the last thing is written, let's add.
It's not written, but even that option is not there.
That option is not there.
to check the boxes.
It was over there. See, if you click on next over here, over there, below where the drive
For
is.
you, it's not coming.
He might have selected
No,
something.
for us,
No, I have selected the NTFS.
Okay, then it's good. Okay, it's only for the NetApp. Forget it. We don't have NetApp.
You got it? The same thing, the checkbox? Yeah. They did not get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Create a virtual store partition. With
Yes. Okay. The next thing is partition rollover.
see why it is showing the two servers over here. And if I take here only, so there are services, but here it is not services. So what service? It is going back.
It's not going to be resetted.
I already started the services.
No, you have resetted the EV. You have maybe the virtual. This is maybe old one, possibly.
But it's totally new configuration yesterday.
And then
In this file, in these options, there is no services at all.
Okay, we'll discuss this one after. Okay, the next part is partition rollover. This is the second. This is just we were discussing. Okay, we can define the partition rollover, for example, based on the volume and the time. Let's say I'm saying the close the partition every 1 month and open the new one. It will be rollover to the ready partition automatically.
But then,
Why we are doing based on the time? To keep the backup window smaller. Only this is the one reason. We are closing the partition regularly to keep the backup window smaller. For example, to back up the 100 GB or the 500 GB is time consuming. So we can close the partition, take the backup, okay, and keep it for 6 months. No need to backup it again for the closed partition.
5 minutes for perhaps.
Yeah, sure.
after the players, we can have the snacks check.
In the meanwhile, the rest of you can provide